Hello students, welcome to today's session on color models. So under this topic, we'll be discussing about what do we mean by light, what are the different properties of light, what are the different characteristics of color, right? And we'll be discussing mainly the two types of color models, which are RGB model and CMY and CMYK model. So let us start today's session by seeing the definition of light. So what is light? Light is also called as a visible light, right? So the one which we can see, right? So it is an electromagnetic radiation within the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? So visible light is actually an electromagnetic radiation. As you can see here we have the electromagnetic spectrum. So what is an electromagnetic spectrum? It is a diagram which shows the entire spectrum of electromagnetic waves, right? So we have different types of electromagnetic waves, like we can see gamma rays are there, right? So we have x-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, and radio waves, right? So like this we have different types of electromagnetic waves, and the diagram which shows the different types of electromagnetic waves, we call it as an electromagnetic spectrum, right? So in this electromagnetic spectrum we also have one portion of wave which is called as the visible light, right? So it is an electromagnetic radiation within the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? So inside the electromagnetic spectrum we also have light, or which is called as the visible light, so which can be perceived by human eye. That means that can be seen by the human eye. So each frequency value within the visible region of the electromagnetic spectrum, it corresponds to a distinct spectral color, right? So whatever value we are getting in the visible light, right? So in the visible light we have, where we know that each frequency value will correspond to a spectral color, right? So spectral color means at the low frequency end we will be having the red color, and at the high frequency end we will be having the violet colors, right? So a light source, it can be from the sun, right? So that is the visible light, or we can also have light emitted by the household light bulbs, right? So they all emit all the frequencies within the visible range so as to produce the white light, right? So as we can see, the light produced by sun is also a white light, and the light produced by the light bulb is also a white light. So coming to the properties of light. So whenever light is incident on an opaque object, what happens? Some frequencies are reflected and some are absorbed, right? So when the white light is incident on the object, we see that some is reflected and some are absorbed. So the combination of the frequencies which are present in the reflected light, right? So the combination of frequency which are present in the reflected light, it actually determines the color of the object that we see, right? Say for example, I'm seeing an apple, right? So when I look to an apple, right? So actually the light, right? So what happens? There is reflection and there is absorption. So when whatever light is reflected, right? So from that light, yeah, I'll see that the maximum portion is red color, right? So that is why I'm able to judge that that particular object color is red, right? So the combination of frequencies which are present in the reflected light, right? So we are not talking about the absorbed light. So absorbed light is the one which is absorbed by the object. We are considered about the frequencies of the reflected light, right? So based on the frequencies of the reflected light, we can say the color of any object, right? So such a frequency we call it as the dominant frequency, or it is called as the hue, right? So hue, hue, or it is also called as the dominant frequency, or simply we can say it as the color, right? So color of the light. What are the different characteristics of color, right? There are basically three characteristics of color. The first one is called as the dominant frequency. So dominant frequency is nothing but the color we see, right? So whichever color we see, say for example red, I'm seeing, and I can see green color or purple color, blue color, anything, right? So the color whatever we see, we call it as the dominant frequency, or it is called as the hue frequency. The next characteristics of color is brightness. So brightness talks about the total light energy, right? So which tells how bright is the color, right? So brightness is nothing but the light is illuminating the object. That means we are getting the object to illuminate, right? So illuminate is nothing but you are basically illuminating that particular object, right? So that is what we mean by brightness. So the next third property is called as the purity or saturation of the light. So the purity, it describes how close a light appears to be to a pure spectral color, right? So how close the light appears to be to a pure spectral color such as red. Say for example, the closest color to red, we can say pink. Pink is very close to red, right? So that is what we mean by purity, right? How close a light appears to be to a pure spectral color such as red, right? So next we have something called as chromaticity. So chromaticity is nothing but it refers to the two properties which are purity and hue, right? So if you are combining the dominant frequency and the saturation property of a color, right? So we say that property is referred to as the chromaticity, right? So it is basically used to refer collectively the two properties of the color. So next we have the definition of color model, right? So what is a color model? Any method which is basically used for explaining the properties or behavior of a color, we call it as the color model, right? So color model is a method for explaining the properties or behavior of a color within some particular context is called as a color model, right? So it can also be defined as it is an abstract mathematical model which describes the way colors can be represented as tuples of numbers, right? So tuples means rows of numbers, typically as 3 or 4 values or color components. That means we can mix a different combination of colors, right? So and we can write the tuples, that is row values for the color, right? So such a model we call it as the color model, which basically explains the properties or behavior of the color within some particular context, right? So in our session we'll be studying about the two types of color models, which are RGB color model and CMYK color model, right? There are other color models like YIQ color model is there, right? So we have HSV color model. So all those things are not included in your syllabus. So before starting the color model, right? So let us have a basic introduction about what are the different types of primary. What do we mean by primary colors, right? So primary colors are nothing but your RGB color, right? So red, green and blue. So the set of colors that can be combined in order to make a useful range of colors, right? So the basic color, that is red, green and blue color, which are basically used to make a useful range of colors, we call them as primary colors, right? So what that set of primary colors, we call it as the color gamut. So the set of all colors that we can produce from the primary colors, right? So by using the primary colors, what are the different types of colors we can produce, right? So the colors that we can produce by using the primary colors, we call it as the color gamut, right? So then we have complementary colors. Complementary colors are nothing but the pairs of colors which when combined in the right proportion produces white color, right? So what are the different pairs of colors? When we combine them in the right proportion, we will get the white color. Such colors we call them as complementary colors, right? So for example, in the RGB model, we have red is complementary to cyan, right? So red and cyan are complementary colors. Green and magenta are complementary color, and blue and yellow are complementary color. That means if I mix a red color and cyan color, the output is white color. If I mix a green color and magenta color, the output is white. If I mix a blue and yellow color, the output is white, right? So such colors, when mixing those colors, we get the resultant as white. They are called as complementary colors. Primary colors are nothing but the basic colors, red, green and blue, right? So which are used to produce a range of colors, we call them as primary colors. So what are the different types of colors which are produced from primary colors? We call them as color gamut, right? So color gamut is nothing but the set of all the colors that we can produce from the primary colors. What are complementary colors? Complementary colors are those pairs which when mixed, the resultant output is a white color, right? So no finite set of real primary colors can be combined to produce all possible visible colors. That means there is no proper set, right? So that combining like this, we will get all the possible visible colors. However, given a set of 3 primary colors, we can characterize any fourth color using color mixing process. That means I can combine red and green and I can produce yellow, like that, right? So we can, given a set of 3 primary colors, that is red, green and blue, we can produce a fourth color by using the color mixing process. So next we have some concept of shades, tints and tone, right? So what do you mean by shading? Shading is nothing but it is produced by dimming a hue, right? So dimming a hue is nothing but, what is a hue? A hue is called as the dominant frequency, right? So by dimming a dominant frequency, we produce a shade. As you can see here, I can produce a dark blue by combining the pure blue and black, right? So if I combine pure blue and black, I will get the dark blue. That is what we mean by shading, right? So how we are doing shading? We are doing shading by adding black to a color, right? So if I add black color to some color, right, I will get the dark color of that particular type of color. That is called as shade. What is a tint? Tint is nothing but which is produced by lightening the frequency, right? So lightening it, right? So lightening means what? We will add white so that I can lighten the color. Say for example, I have pure red color. Pure red color, I will add white color to it, so I will get the pastel red color, right? So tint is nothing but lightening, right? So as you can see from the figure, shading is nothing but you are making something which is a dark color, right? So tinting is nothing but you are making some color to be light, right? So how do you make light? By adding the white color to the dark color, you will get it as a tint color, right? So next we have tone. So tone, it refers to the effects of reducing the colorfulness of a hue, right? So in order to reduce the colorfulness of the hue, right? So that means by adding gray or by adding black and white, we will get some intermediate color, right? So that is called as tone, right? So shading means taking the frequency towards black color, that means making it darker. Tinting means taking that color and determining the frequency color to make it as white, right? So that is brightness. And the tone, it covers the range in between, right? So that means between shade and tint, whatever we get, that is called as the toning, right? So it is basically used to reduce the effect of colorfulness, right? So it is neither too dark nor it is neither too dark nor white, right? Somewhere in between. Say for example, you are adding both black and white, that is, if you mix black and white, what is the resultant color we get? That is gray, right? So we are adding gray color for the given color so that we will get the toned versions of the color, right? So these are the different types of colors what you can get, right? So by shading you can get dark color, by tinting you can get white colors, right? So by toning we can reduce the effect of the colorfulness. So next, coming to the color model, there are basically two types of colors, right? So we can have additive colors and we can have subtractive color, right? So additive color is nothing but what? By adding two colors, I am generating one more color, that is called as additive color. It basically uses light to display color. Say for example, mixing, it begins with black and it ends with white. As more color is added, the result is lighter and it tends to white. It is basically used for computer displays. Say for example, the best example of additive color is RGB color model, right? Say for in RGB color model, what we are doing, we are adding two colors, right? So that we will get generate one more color, right? So say for example, I will be adding red and blue in order to get, I will add a red and blue color so that I will get a one more color, right? Or I can add red and green color so that I will get one more yellow color, like that, right? So you can mix two colors and you can generate one more color. So that is type of color model, we call it as additive color model. So what is subtractive color model? Subtractive color model, it is basically used in printers, right? So it uses ink to display color. Additive color model, it uses light to display color, whereas subtractive color model, it is basically used in printers, right, plotters and all. So it uses ink to display color. So mixing means that one begins with white and it ends with black, right? So here mixing begins with black, you are adding more color, right? So mixing begins with black and it ends with white. In subtractive color, mixing begins with white and it ends with black. As one adds color, the result gets darker and it tends to become black, basically used for printed material, right? So RGB color model is used for your computer displays, so that is like your television and all, right? Whereas subtractive color, it is basically used for your printing. So it is called as subtractive because its wavelength is less than the sum of the wavelengths of the constituting color. That means we will try to decrease the amount of color what we have mixed so that we can generate one more color, right? So here additive color, we are adding more and more color so that we can generate one more fourth color, right? By adding two colors, I can generate one more third color. But here in subtractive colors, what we are doing is we are reducing the amount of quantity what we are mixing so that we can generate one more color. That is why it is called as subtractive color. So the best example for subtractive color is the CMYK color system. It is the color system that is used for printing, right? So RGB color model is used in your television, in your computer displays, right? So that is obtained by additive color. It is called as additive color model, whereas CMYK color model, right? So C stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key here is the black color, right? So it begins with white and it ends with black. That is why it is the key here is the black color. So CMYK color model, it is basically used for printing. So coming to our first type of color model, which is RGB color model, right? So as we know, it is a additive color model. So the red, green, and blue color space is widely used throughout the computer graphics, right? So for all our computer displays, we are using our RGB color model. So we can define this RGB color model by having a unit cube, where in the unit cube, I have the red axis, I have the green axis, and I have the blue axis. This is red, green, and blue. That is called as RG and B axis. The origin, it represents black, right? So it represents black, whereas the diagonally opposite vertex, it represents the white. That means if I don't have red, if I don't have green, if I don't have blue, right? So that means zeros of red, zero of green, zero of blue, that what color I will get? I will get is black, right? So whereas if I mix a red, if I mix a green, and if I mix a blue, right, the complementary color of a black, we get it as the white color, right? So the origin here in the RGB model is black, whereas the diagonally opposite vertex, which is 1 1 1, is my white color. The vertices of the cube on the axis represents the primary colors, which are RGB, and the remaining vertices are the complementary color points for each of the primary color, right? So all the other colors are the complementary colors. For example, red and green, if I mix, I will get yellow color, like that, right? So blue and green, if I mix, I will get cyan color. If I mix red and blue color, I will get magenta color, right? So you can see here, these are called as the tuple values. For red, I will write it as 1 0 0. That means it is only red. For green, I will write it as 0 1 0 because it is RGB. For blue, I will write it as 0 0 1, right? But what if for yellow? Yellow is obtained by mixing red and green. So it is 1 comma 1 comma 0, red, green, and we are not mixing blue, right? So coming to cyan color is obtained by mixing green and blue, right? Therefore it is 0 1 1, right? Green and blue you are mixing in order to generate the cyan color. Now what is magenta color? Magenta color is the resultant of mixing red and blue color. So 1 0 1. So this type of representation we call it as the tuple representation for a color, right? So the shade between black and white is called as the gray color. So the shades of gray are represented along the main diagonal. So this is the your RGB color model, which is represented in terms of a unit cube. So each color point within the unit cube, it can be represented as a weighted vector sum of the primary colors, right? So that means by adding R, G and B, right? So I can get my RGB color model. So we write it as C of lambda. C of lambda is equal to C of lambda is equal to RGB, right? So which is R plus G plus B. That means I'm combining the unit vectors, right? So unit vector R to my red color, unit vector green G, right? And so the one which is darken, right? So that is my unit vector. So if I combine all this, then I will be getting my RGB color model, where the range value for RGB color model is from 0 to 1.0. Right. So for example, as we have seen, the magenta vertex is obtained by adding red and blue in order to produce the magenta color, right? So red and blue, if I add, I will get the magenta color. That is why it is called as additive color model, because here I am adding two colors in order to obtain one more color. That is why it is additive color model. So next type of color model is called as a CMY and CMYK model, right? So CMY stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, right? So here K stands for key. Key is nothing but your black color here, right? So this color model is a subtractive color model, right? So CMY stands for cyan, magenta, yellow. This is basically used for your printer, right? So in our printer, what the color model what we use is CMY and CMYK model, whereas in the TV screen or in your laptops, in any display devices, whatever color model we use is the RGB color model, right? So a printed color that looks red, it absorbs the other two components green and blue, and it reflects R, right? So any printed material, whenever you see, right, so the one which looks red, it actually absorbs the absorbs color components are green and blue, right? So we are subtracting green and blue, and what output we are generating? We are generating red color. That is why it is called as subtractive color model, right? So you are removing two colors and you are getting the resultant as one more color, right? So coming to CMY model, in CMY model, the three, it can also be represented on a unit cube, right? The three axes here are cyan, magenta, and yellow, right? So as you can see, we have cyan color, we have a magenta and yellow as our three axes, right? So here our origin is white, because if I combine cyan, magenta, and yellow, I will get the white color, and the diagonally opposite color is called as the black, right? So black color is obtained when I combine the black color here is 1 1 1. That means I'm combining cyan, magenta, yellow to get black. So if I don't use cyan, magenta, yellow, that means if I remove all those three, I'll be getting the white color, right? So the complementary colors what we are getting here as, right? So for some if I combine cyan and magenta, right? So cyan and magenta is I will get the blue color. That means if I subtract cyan and magenta, I'll be getting the blue color. If I subtract your magenta and yellow color, I'll be getting red color. If I subtract yellow and cyan color, I'll be getting green color, right? So, and the gray scale here is also the diagonal, main diagonal elements, we have the gray color, right? So the CMY coordinates are just the complements of your RGB coordinate. The complement of RGB model is your CMY model. So here we have in a additive color model such as RGB, white is the additive combination of all the primary color lights, while black is the absence of light, right? So how do I get white here? White is in RGB model, white is obtained by 111. That means by combining red, green and blue, by adding all the three primary colored lights, I'll be getting the white color. Whereas if I remove everything, that is why I'll get black. Black is the absence of light, right? So black is 0, 0, 0. But in the CMYK model, it is opposite. White is the natural color of the paper or other background, right? So whereas black results from a full combination of colorings. If I combine everything, right? So here I have combination of CMY, right? Cyan, magenta, yellow. If I combine all the three colors, I'll be getting the black color because it is used on the printing, right? So on the for a printer, the background is a white, and whatever you print, right? So it will be in a different colors, right? So that's why in the CMYK model, it is opposite. White is the natural color of the paper, right? So we know that the color of the paper is white, or any other background is white color. So on the white color, you are trying to print other combination of color. So while black results from the full combination of color to ink, right? So this is your this is the equation what we are using. What is CMY? CMY is obtained from white color, right? So 111 white minus RGB, we will get it as a CMY, right? And white minus a CMY, I'll get it as RGB, right? So they are complementary in nature, right? So RGB to CMY, if you want to convert, right? So just from the white color, if you remove your RGB color values, you will be getting CMY. So CMY to RGB, if you have to transform, right? So just take this side. So RGB will be equal to 111 minus CMY, right? So this is how we have the CMY and CMY and RGB relationship, right? So the last type of model is CMYK model, right? So CMYK model, it is also basically used for color printing, right? So but here the addition is the K, right? So what is this K color? K color is nothing but your black ink, right? So although cyan, magenta and yellow inks might be expected be sufficient for color printing, right? But most of the actual color printing, they make use of the black ink as an addition, right? So the black ink is represented by K here. That is why it is called as CMYK, right? So K represents black. This is partly because a mixture of the first three inks may not yield a black that is neutral enough or dark enough, right? But also because the use of black, it spares the use of the more expensive colored inks and also reduces the total amount of ink, thus speeding drying times, right? So why we are using black here? Because the combination of cyan, magenta and yellow, it will not produce the actual black what we require, right? That is neutral enough or dark enough, right? So and also because the black ink, it will be the black ink, it reduces the total amount of ink used, right? So that is why we are using the black color here, right? So the K is used instead of equal amounts of CMY, right? So it is called under the color removal, we can get richer black, right? So less ink will be deposited on the paper and it dries more quickly. That is the advantage of using your black. So non-linearities can also be accommodated. That means K is equal to minimum of C comma M comma Y, right? So what is the complementary? Complementary, I will get it as C dash is equal to C minus K. What is M dash? M dash will be equal to M minus K. And what is Y dash? Y dash will be equal to Y minus K, right? So C dash is the complementary value, right? Complementary value, or it is the lesser value, the minimum value of the color taken, right? So that is why it is C dash, M dash and Y dash. Like this, we will be able to generate the different types of color models. So the last topic is applications of the color model, right? So as I have told, RGB color model, it is basically used in computer graphics, image processing, image analysis, image storage. That means basically used for your computer, you basically used for your display devices like laptops, your TVs, right? So your monitor screens, everything, wherever you can use, right? So for the display devices, we'll be using the RGB color model, whereas the CMY and CMYK color model is basically used for printing, right? So wherever we have printers, plotters, everything, we make use of the CMY color model, right? So next we have one more color model, which is HSV and HSL color model, that is basically used for human visual perception, right? Computer graphics processing, human vision, image editing software, video editor, right? Computer vision, design image, image analysis, right? So all the other applications, your HSV model is used, and YIQ model is based on TV broadcasting and video system. right? So these are the different color models and their applications. So this completes your color models. Thank you.